morning, everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order for the Board of Water and Wastewater Commissioners at the Harwich Water Department at 196 Chatham Road, Harwich, Mass. Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at 11:32 a.m. We have no executive session, public comments or announcements. All right, consent agenda for the minutes of June 22nd, 2023.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt the minutes of June 22nd, 23 as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Question?
Yeah, I just, I don't know really which is right, but on these minutes, it's got the executive session portion in it. It doesn't have, votes or minutes from them, but I just didn't know if that was the way it was supposed to be done. I understand at the end, when it says that we ended this meeting and went into executive, so that makes sense to me. It was just this section in the middle where it restates the agenda. I just don't know if that's right or wrong.
I can certainly investigate.
Well, Mr. McCaskill's here. Maybe he has an opinion on this?
It doesn't hurt to have it in there.
Because we are just saying that we did vote on minutes.
But we aren't saying that.
A separate set of executive
Right.
session minutes would be drawn up for a later date. Those are not them. Those are just...
Right. Right, I agree. No, I'm just saying I didn't know if we needed to relist the agenda. It's not a big deal. But no, that doesn't say we voted. It's just restating the agenda. That's all right.
I could revise it for them.
No, I mean,
Oh, you mean it doesn't say that we voted on the minutes, to accept the minutes?
he said it said that, but that's not true.
I see what you're saying.
I
Okay.
apologize.
I'm not saying it should
Little
say that, by any means, because I wouldn't want the executive intermingled with the regular.
Remember, this is the way we've done it.
Okay,
And this is, it gives you a record of those executive minutes, which end up getting approved by themselves. So,
Let's get clarification.
If you're just listing that you had the topic
Right.
executive session, that would be part of the minutes. It is restating basically the agenda, but for 5 years from now, if somebody pulls it, they can see in your regular minutes that you had an executive session.
Okay, that makes
And then they
sense.
could ask for the executive
Yeah.
session minutes
Okay.
separately if you've approved to
you
release
know
them.
how full he is, how he
I
is.
basically
right.
I basically
Yeah.
said the same thing.
No, you said the same thing?
I basically said the same thing.
It sounded
All right, public comment.
But no, because it
Careful, you're
does say
sitting near that elbow.
I know, and the pen's right there, I know. Okay, that's what you
Thank you, Michael.
Anything else?
Thank you,
You good?
Jerry.
Okay. So we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. "13 Kendall Lane, we have an abatement request. On May 5th, the occupant owner had a knee operation on their knee, was out of work for 3 weeks with no income. So there's a removal request for $25 late fee. 13 Kendall?
Yes.
Okay. Have there been any late fees associated to this?
Yes.
Before today?
Yes.
Before this? Okay. All right. Any discussion? I'll make a motion to remove the $25 late fee.
yeah, I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
There you go.
very much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hope you're doing okay.
How's the knee now?
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
It was a large mass, so they did, as though it was a knee replacement, but it wasn't. And they cut right straight up like that, and I think, not to gross you up, but pulled it out
Too
of
late.
there.
I can't, I'm sorry.
More details.
Well, that's good news, though.
Yeah,
That's
so
good
I
news.
was able to go back to work after 3 weeks. which
Good,
was
good.
Yeah, so you're all set?
Well, okay.
They'll take care of it for you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you all.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Nice to
thank
see you.
It's nice to see you too.
All right, so the other abatement is for 20 Deer Meadow. The gentleman's wife passed away. The bills were going to her email, but she couldn't access the emails and finally was able to. And after being contacted by the water department, has since straightened the issue out. So the request is for $50.
50, yeah. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All set. FY '23, fourth quarter internal adjustments. Looking for a motion for $13,793.26.
I'll
Hold on a
move
second.
that we approve the internal adjustments for the most recent quarter in the amount of $13,793.26.
I think I made a mistake. I think it's $7,296.63.
It's,
At the top, it says
Well, you gotta add the two.
793.26.
And doesn't that come to what I
Yeah.
said?
Yep.
13?
Oh, so that's the 13, okay, I had it right the first time, okay. So a motion, I saw the number, knowing, be patient. So a motion to approve.
So
Signify by
moved.
saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. FY '23 fourth quarter water department usage. A motion to approve $3,200.25.
So moved.
Second,
Yes, second.
any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, so I have Dan's evaluation back on here. The evaluation is all done. I just wanted to just go over objectives and goals for FY '24. So we can finish this up and send it up to town hall. All
Well,
right. Well,
can I say something?
please.
You know, there are so many goals and objectives, and they all go over years. You know, it's just not the nature of the business that practically anything we do would be done within 1 year. And it's really hard to identify on our existing evaluation form what we're judging for in the current year and what we're looking forward to the next year. So I'm gonna suggest that as Sandra merged these as best she could from all of our different scenarios, that we accept that for this year, and that hopefully next year, Gary and I had talked about designing a new form that, you know, maybe we could discuss in the winter, maybe not wait all the way till next June, so we have a clearer idea, you know, what platform of goals we're talking about. Because it's just, I mean, there's like 15 of them, you know, in what year do they fall in, and, you know, how do you grade somebody down? Like, in one place on this form, you grade somebody down if they can't possibly finish it in this year. Well, some of the projects go for 3 years, so how do you,
Right, yeah.
grade somebody less because it's something they can't possibly do? I mean, there's like,
It's not
you know,
realistic.
things like that, so, but, I mean, overall, I'm happy with the merge, so, the merged product, so, that's what I'd say.
So just looking at the, this year's goals and objectives, I mean, we have 8 combined, right? I think there's a place on the evaluation for 5. Is it 5? I mean, realistically, I don't think it would hurt to pick 3 out of these 8. So do you have something to judge on next year? I mean, I think the FY '28 water main replacement is going to be the biggest one,
The FY,
the Route 28 replacement.
yeah.
But
So-
are these meaning that they need to be finished, or should we
Well-
stick the word like progress in there?
It's not going to be done in 1 year. I mean, this is what, a 2-year?
I mean, yeah, I have an update later, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be.
It's going to be a 2-year
Yeah,
project.
Possibly 3.
So
Yeah.
what does it mean when it says page 1 and 2, item
Yeah,
A?
so these, and it's, we don't have the original form, but if you recall, you have the original form.
Yeah.
So that first box at the bottom, which is last year's evaluation goals, and then this year's evaluation goals from last year.
I know what you
confuse
mean,
things.
yeah.
but they tie back to that original sheet.
Yeah, okay. And I added my own sheet with another 8 for last year.
Different 8?
Yeah, well, not all different, some are the same.
I think the ones that I had proposed is what Sandy had included in the consolidated
Right.
form. So the third box down on the first page.
You have 7 here. 7 goals and objectives that you sent.
Did I have on mine?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, out of these, the things that really need, in my opinion, that need to be focused on would be the Phase 3, Route 28 collection system. The,
Where is that?
Number 2.
B, okay.
Number 4. Maybe number 5. Because all the others, Dan can still work on. The state aid generator, T1 generator, I mean, that's,
We're beyond
That's-
that now at this point.
right, that's like, you know, I don't, daily operations, I kind of feel.
I would say number 7 is very important myself. That ties right, that's acquire easements
Okay.
Where's number 7?
on the bottom, on this.
Oh, on this page, okay. Sorry, I was
Right.
looking in the chart.
And then I would say like number 8, Dan, you got 6, you're not part of number 6 anymore, are you?
I believe I'm not.
All right, so I mean, that's tax taken off right there, so that's out.
You're totally not part of Coldbrook?
Well, they just opened the bids. The last document that we're working on is the grant agreement that needs to go before the select board and HCT. I have given all of my known deliverables to legal counsel for them to wrap that document up. That document does identify a town contact for the project. I did meet with the town administrator, and we have removed my name from that portion and input the natural resources director, of which, you know, will be backfilling Heinz's position, so they would be taking over.
Yeah,
So number 6 shouldn't even be part of that.
good.
So, all right, so we have, in my thought would be 2, 4, 5, and 7. Because even like the CWP developed number 1, the new Title 5 wash permit regulations, I think that's just kind of,
It's in process.
Yeah.
And that's, it's, at the end of the day, I have to do, I gotta do all of them, whether
That's
they're
right.
identified
Right.
on my evaluation or not, you know, so I'm indifferent, I guess, to which ones we put on there, because I
Right.
gotta do them all. You know, I think 7 could almost be consolidated into 2 and 4.
right,
Right?
that's why I kind of put it
Yeah.
there. If you're gonna do those 2, you might as well do that one.
Right.
It kind of all ties in together. Noreen.
So, well, the other problem with Dan's things is that some are overseen by this board and some are overseen by the Board of Selectmen. And even though you have to do them all, but it seems to me for our form, we have to focus more on the ones that we oversee. For instance, the CWMP. The CWMP revisions really are in the ballpark of the Board of Selectmen for dividing which policy, which places, whatever, going forward. There isn't a heck of a lot this board, you know, can do about the CWMP, as opposed to the Phase 3 and stuff. We will have some involvement because those will become our customers, they'll be tying into us and everything else, so
They're already calling us.
they're already calling, okay. So, I mean, that's kind of how I look at it, is we can't ignore all the things the superintendent are doing, but the things that we have virtually, you know, we're just a person at the table, an interested party, you know, so. Not sure where that ends up, but that's kind of how I did my list.
I think we're saying the same thing.
I think we are too.
Okay.
I think he's doing a great job.
Huh?
I think he's doing a great job.
I do too.
I don't need to sit around and deal with this. He's not sitting around twiddling his thumbs. He's
Yeah.
doing his work.
However, we need to put something on the evaluation. So, are we in agreement, 2, 4, 5, and 7?
Right, and I think 7 can be part of 2.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
all tied in. Because it's great the
Four.
Sand Lakes projects, that's, again,
No,
2, 4,
not
5.
Sand Lakes.
I'm saying that, I'm saying not Sand Lakes.
All right.
2, 4, 5, and 7.
Do you wanna, like, do you want to write 7 into 2, so that there's only 3 on there, even though they're long? Doesn't matter, or it's one, as long as the understanding is that these are in progress, these are not,
Yeah.
like, have to be done by July 1 next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
So the goals for next year are 2, 4, 5, and 7.
yes.
I mean, the main goals.
Yes.
Work in progress.
We could-
Work in
Yeah,
progress.
we can name off 1,000 things that he does on a
I
daily
know.
basis, but these are the
Yeah,
big ones that, need special attention.
and if we add those together, they'll come to minus 20% or something. No, it's just, the percentages don't add up to 100, so it's all
Yeah.
very confusing
Well, it's
anyway.
20 points for next year's.
I got you,
I
it's
don't
just
know.
being fresh.
I know, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll turn this into Sandy, she'll add these 4 to the goals and objectives, and we'll move on, okay?
Yeah. So we are done
Yes,
with what we have to do.
yes. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Award generator.
So after a considerable amount of deliberation, and I'm happy to give you the backstory on all of it, I am asking the board to award the generator contract to FM Generator. Just to give you the backstory, we were planning to issue an award for this at the last meeting. So as I put in the memo, we did receive 2 bids for the project. The low bidder actually proposed a generator larger in size than what we had originally asked for. So we had asked for a 100 kW generator at Station 8 and a 150 kW generator here at the main facility. The higher bidder submitted the 2 kilowatt generators we asked for. The lower bidder gave us more than we were asking for. We as an awarding authority have discretion, and included in the specifications, we list the basic minimum requirements that we want, and we have to include a condition that's or equal. And we as the awarding authority have a considerable amount of discretion to say, yeah, this is going to meet or exceed the needs that we had, so this is going to suffice for our intent. So I went back and forth, I went and dealt with legal counsel, and legal counsel, they said, you could really issue it to either of them, depending on which case you make. The generators for FM are slightly larger in footprint than the South Shore generator proposal, so we may have to do some modifications to the concrete pads to get them to fit. But I can't see those modifications exceeding the $15,000 difference between the low bid and the high bid. So I think all things considered, the most logical recommendation I can give is to go with FM. But it was a good 3-4 weeks of hashing it out with them. FM generator also did say if there's any modifications to the concrete pad that they would take care of them themselves at no cost to the department. So that kind of further codifies that.
All right,
Mr. Chairman, I move we award the bid for the generator to FM Generators, Inc.
is there a second?
Second.
If
Any
I
further
may,
discussion?
one thing also noted in the memo, but I just want to say it verbally, we did have 2 separate town meeting appropriations in the amount of $115,000. So to fully fund this project, I'm proposing to use $8,150 from our building and grounds maintenance line item in the FY24 budget. So that 3 funding sources makes up the total contract amount.
All right. We have a motion, we have a second, anything else? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
What type of generators are there?
These are Blue Star generators. These will be the first Blue Star ones that we get. But, like I said to the engineer when we were going through all this, the Generacs and the Kohlers we have are not without issue.
Right.
So.
These guys have that's got a good reputation for the Blue
So.
Star.
Good.
drought status, Mr. Pelletier.
So I included a couple of slides in the packet just of the most recent drought declaration was updated on July 14th, and they have returned the Cape Cod region to a normal level. As I'm sure everyone's seen all the rain that we've had in the past couple weeks. Also, I did a year-to-date and a month-to-date comparison on the Brewster monitoring well. So you can see, even though we did get quite a bit of rain, we're still trending downward, but less so than before. That said, at the last meeting, we had discussed sending out the Healthy Lawn, Happy Summer flyer. I have not done that yet, partly because I had a week between that meeting and going on vacation, and also, given the amount of rain we had, really wanted to reconsider whether it's a worthwhile effort, because it's probably going to cost $6,000 to $10,000. We're no longer in a drought, and we've had an abundance of rain. So before moving forward, wanted to kind of rehash.
I'm just surprised that we're not better for all the rain we've had. It's like, what, a half a foot's difference from a year ago?
Yeah.
And it just feels like it should be more than that. I know
Yeah.
that's foolish, but to be only a half a foot different from a year ago, right now, a year ago, we were recommending no outdoor watering. And so it just continues to confound me.
Brewster went to odd even.
They
It's in the table. Yeah.
reach out and see why.
I just can't get over the number of gallons we pump out of the ground every year.
I know, despite all,
Mind-boggling.
what a year for a rain barrel, you know,
Yeah.
that's all I could think.
All right. They haven't made, so what do they do? They meet once a month?
Yeah.
So it's a month-to-month basis?
Yeah.
And they just met. They lifted the drought and,
They'll reconvene beginning of August and determine if anything else is needed. But to the, back to the flyer thing, if not now, I think, we can gear up to do the full campaign, starting this winter, and we can set out next spring in April with the initial mailings before people get irrigation systems on, so it's...
I would definitely think spring would be the best time, the first mailing.
I had a silly idea. Come fall, I wonder if you would want to, well, at least photograph, but, maybe organize tours or show people the progress that you made this year.
Yeah.
Even though, this year may not be the same complexion as last year, but, for people who are still thinking about it, it's just
Yeah.
an idea, so, since you're not pounding it during the summer.
Yeah.
Or,
And fall is the time to install a lawn. Fall
yeah,
and fall and spring,
right.
so fall.
A lot of
so.
people, plant then, or if nothing else, just get some camera people to at least, so you'll have it there to make it as part of a presentation for the following
Yeah.
spring.
Can you tell me what the lawn on
Lothrop
Lothrop?
lawn.
Over on Lothrop, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant to say.
I gotta
yeah.
drive past there.
That was gonna be my question for commissioners, where we're at on that. I'm saving it for commissioners though. Anything else for drought?
No.
Okay. All right, new business. Billing update.
Just wanted to relay, bills have gone out if you haven't received them.
I got my bill.
We are currently on hold issuing new invoices temporarily due to backlog in the treasurer collector's office. I know they're working through a big backlog of checks, so we're kind of in a holding pattern at least until next week, but our water consumption bills have gone out. We're on hold for miscellaneous for another week or so, but
All right.
So not all of our bills have gone out?
water bills went out, but our miscellaneous, if we installed a water service
I
or a
see, I
backflow,
see.
those, we
Yeah.
do,
Okay.
runs in between.
So, since the water usage bills went out, I was wondering where the last quarter was so rainy, is our revenue way down?
I don't have that answer off the top of my head.
Okay,
I'll have to,
Just, we'll figure it
Look at
out
the
over the
calendar.
next
Yeah.
couple. But I saw the pumping held up pretty well, so maybe we're not.
Yeah.
Just,
All right, next up, capital plan.
I actually asked Dan to throw this back on, only because usually he would have to be turning in his capital request form sometime in August or late August, but I just wanted to make sure we were happy with the things we've eliminated and stuff like that, so if he gets the call to get his information in, he wouldn't be held up by us. So, it's kind of a repeat, but,
and I did include, just for the board, you know, the kind of the past couple versions, because the board has adopted the policy of, you know, it being a unanimous vote to change or modify the department's capital plan. You know, going back 2 years, this double one here, the original 10-year that we adopted is on the left. Last year, when we slid a couple articles in for hoping to get infrastructure bill money, was the one here on the right, and then the kind of new modified version that we went over last time removed the infrastructure bill projects we weren't going to be pursuing, the ones that have already been appropriated, and then kind of sharpened the pencil on the vehicle replacements, the backhoe replacement. And last time we did discuss the concept of replacing our backhoe with a small to mid-sized loader. So I know that was an ongoing discussion, as well as replacement for the Explorer, whether or not that was going to be brought forward next year. Not that these have to be ironed out today, but just food for thought.
so this is the most current page now.
Not voted.
What?
This hasn't been voted yet.
Right.
So our, you know, I would say this one is the currently adopted one.
I see. But we know that 10,000, just as a for instance, 10 million rather, is going to be
Right.
dropped from that. So this is the one we should be considering. But this is water only.
Yes.
So none of this stuff will get used for wastewater?
No.
Okay.
So should we vote on this at this point, or would you be more comfortable waiting another month? We are a little early.
I'm happy to wait. I guess at this point, hashing out the vehicle, the loader, one, is this format okay? You know, the format of kind of switching the way we display the information, so.
Are you saying, is this
Yeah.
okay? I'm fine with it. Why are you laughing? Because I'm
I'm ju-
new.
I'm just listening.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
listening. Right now, this is our active capital plan, the one on the right, right? Dan put this together just to clean up this current plan. Any change to the capital plan takes a unanimous vote.
Right.
So I would recommend not taking a vote on it right now, seeing as it was just given to us. Let's just take a look at it and feel any questions. I don't have any issues with it right now, but I just got it, so
Okay.
let's put it on the agenda for the next meeting. And, but just to keep in mind, to change the capital plan, just take a unanimous vote.
And what would we have on the wastewater side?
There's nothing here for wastewater.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess,
I mean, we don't initiate the,
yeah, so I guess the couple items that I would, I guess, consider for this discussion under the purview of the Wastewater Commission, right, would be improvements, modifications, anything to the existing collection system. I would say the only item that's at the top of my head in need of for the sewer department would be the tow-behind generator, which I have intending on including as part of the Phase 3 construction project, so it wouldn't be a standalone
good,
capital article. Beyond that, I think there may be room for, you know, when the assistant comes on, We are earmarking a vehicle, but at some point, depending on, you know, what we, as a town, should, you know, what do we want for a sewer vehicle? Do we want something with a pickup truck with a crane that can easily pull a pump out just in case we have to, right? Or is a Ranger gonna be sufficient? You know, so I think getting this new person on board, there may be, you know, something to consider, but at this point, I don't.
So for, just, I mean, this is just all hypothetical anyway, but for the wastewater part of it, the part of purchasing a truck with a crane on it, when we have one, technically two wastewater employees, can that one person remove a pump by themselves with that truck? So how would that work? Because we have a company who's servicing our system.
Right now, you know, if something, and this is why, you know, depending on the greater outlook at where we go, and we're looking at out to 2031. So I would say at this stage of the game, no, we can, if they used a Ranger or the car that we, you know, are retaining, sure, fine. But if we're looking at maybe a potential vehicle replacement for the sewer person in 2031, and at that time, maybe we're not gonna be doing contract ops anymore, maybe we are. You know, we're gonna get to a threshold where the cost of paying a contract operations vendor is greater than having an internal department. So depending on where that threshold gets crossed, we'll at some point, if we do bring it into a fully internal department, would need, you know, that heavier vehicle with the crane, that, you know, all that sort of stuff.
The Ford Ranger, who's driving that now?
Right now, that is used by mostly Timmy and Matt when they're not in the big trucks. That's it.
And what year is that?
I think it's 2011?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So something like the crane truck, is that something that theoretically could become a regional truck in that it's not gonna get used often? So, I don't know.
Well, it's really, so
I'm just wondering.
the crane is an
Yeah.
example as really a
Yeah.
wastewater service truck, right? You know, we used to have a little side-mounted crane on our F-550 out here.
Oh, is it a pretty small crane?
Yeah, just a
Not
little, just, you know, the
Alright.
ones you see on the back of a utility body.
Just
you
a
know.
hoist, okay.
Yeah, just a hoist.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
not like
God,
a
the
real
gas
crane,
mileage
yeah.
on that thing will be awful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Just like an electric, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
a winch.
Can mount
because
on the
the
pickup.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
Noreen?
Just one, so any future need, you know, any future need for grinder pumps in phase 3 will be rolled into the 50 million? Is that true or no?
So, well, grinder pumps we're including in phase 3.
Okay,
Grinder pumps we excluded from Route 28.
right,
Phase 2 grinder pumps, I'm looking to use the remaining construction
Okay.
appropriation.
yeah,
So I think those would all be covered.
right. I wasn't clear on the phase 3, they're included in the 50 million?
I will reconfirm. I
Okay.
believe that was the case.
Yeah.
Or,
I think
I think we might have pulled them out because it's gonna be 3 years from now.
that's what it
And
was. Yeah, we didn't
today's
know what
price is not
kind
gonna
of.
be,
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
that's what
So we don't have to worry about them now?
Yeah.
then? Yeah, okay. Because they'll be part of the BOS side of
And
wastewater projects.
if we're as fortunate as we were with phase 2, there may be funds available at the end of construction
Right.
that may not require a supplemental appropriation.
Yeah, you did pull them out, I remember, yeah, don't remember the whole conversation, but, yeah.
All right, anything else?
Thank you.
All right, superintendent's report.
I don't have a ton to go over today. Back from vacation, so just trying to get out from the piles.
All right. All right, commissioner's report. Mr. Thompson,
I'm good.
Ms. Underwood,
Fine?
Ms. Donahue,
Fine,
Mr. Goff.
All set.
So, the lawn over at Lothal, what's going on with that?
I almost want to ask Alan, I'm sure he's driven past it more recently than I have, but I know we were getting a second rain barrel out there. I know the conservation did install some of the plantings.
Did the gutter up?
Gutter's up, DPW put up the gutter. I believe the pump and the valves are all set up for the irrigation. I had talked to Steve before I went on vacation, and I hadn't circled back with him since I got back as to if and what was done over there.
Oh, I did want to share one thing. I was driving around a friend visiting the Cape, driving them by some celebrities' houses in Chatham. You know, how you do that kind of little tour. And there was a little sign that said, "Our lawn is watered by an artesian well," as opposed to town water. Just found it interesting.
I didn't know we had artesian wells.
There was one in Chatham.
What is an artesian well?
It goes down 25 feet.
Is that
When
the
it-
definition?
When it pushes out,
Yeah.
then
Oh.
when they push out by themselves, they don't need a pump. So like if you have a,
But it's still groundwater.
it's
though.
ground, but that's my point, is usually there's a confining geological layer of like clay here, say, that, you know, a hill, there's the water sitting on top of it, and it works like our water storage tanks, so you don't need to put like a pump in the well. The water will just come out of the ground. But I don't.
I think they were just trying to say
Yeah.
they weren't on town water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're.
Because I don't think in that
Fancy word.
location,
Yeah,
Maybe
that
it's
would
ocean.
work.
yeah,
I'm not buying it.
I vote for,
yeah.
you know,
All right.
And you're at groundwater, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Artesian well? Okay.
yeah, it's artesian groundwater.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
All right, correspondence, any other business? All right, next meeting. First week of August, looks like.
August.
I did have something, can we
Yes.
rewind?
Nope. Moving on.
Well,
Thank you. Route 28 water main project. So I had 2 meetings on that this week. I met with DOT and VHB yesterday, who's doing the design for MassDOT. Their schedule, prior to that meeting, I had instructed GHD to prioritize the section of Route 28 between Herring River and Lower County Road, the bigger portion of the project. However, in the meeting that we had yesterday, DOT is requiring submittals for their project with a due date of September. So we have to stop that larger section to jump back over to the West Harwich portion to get the DOT submittal stuff done before we can repivot back. So slight change in schedule. It's going to push out the Phase 2 portion a little bit so that we can keep DOT on track.
What was their time frame?
They're looking to bid the project, I think, January of '25.
Okay.
It's not far away.
I know,
Yeah. Yeah.
feels like it, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a very, very congested set of drawings.
Yeah.
You know, between all the utilities in the ground there, it's a lot.
All right, so we're looking at August 3rd, which is a Thursday. Stay with August, stay with Thursday, 11:30? Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, I may have to call, I might be in Boston, but
All
the
right.
time is fine.
Alan?
I'm good.
John?
What's that?
Noreen?
Yep.
Dan?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
That's it. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.